Is this Jordan St. Cyr?
How you doing, Erica?
It is such a joy to catch up with you today. How are you is the question.
I'm doing great. I'm in the sixth interview of the day, so we're good.
Well, fun fact, you were supposed to call at 9:50 and you did. And your song Fires was scheduled for 9:50 this morning,
Come on.
I'm sitting in here, I'm like, okay, going, this is going to be a special chat. I mean, it's just kind of weird.
Absolutely. I love that so much. It's setting us up for something special here.
Always when you call into the show. Well, Jordan, I love your new song, My Foundation. It is very inspiring and encouraging, and we're really excited for you because I'll never forget there was a time in my life when my husband and I were going through a storm with one of our kids.
Yeah.
I know you know what that's like. And he looked at me and he said, Erica, when Jesus told that story in the Bible about the house that's built on the rock or the person, so to speak, he never said the storms weren't going to come. Isn't that right?
That's right. Oh, my gosh, it's so true. I think there's this underlying expectation, that when we receive Christ, that it's a free pass, and the thing is none of us are immune to the storm. That's
Amen.
right.
Amen.
Yeah.
And now I love the story behind this song because you used to work in construction before God tapped you and said, Jordan, I want you to sing for me. So tell me about that.
Oh, my gosh. You know what? I started working for my dad when I was 13. I was installing flooring. And, this soon became my career. I owned my own business for about 15 years. And, I cursed this job for many years. Grateful that I could provide for my family, but I wanted to do something else.
Yeah.
I had this very pastoral sense, whether it was work in a church or, I told my wife, I'm like, hey, maybe I should go be a cop, or maybe I should go back, go to seminary and become a pastor. And my wife looks at me and she says, so what would you do in your off time? Like when you have time for yourself, what would you do? I'm like, well, I'd probably write a song. And she's like, well, there's your answer.
Wow.
And it was this pursuit of really just God through it all and allowing him to shape me. That's what these were. These were the formative years that I now look back on, and I don't curse. I'm so grateful for the character that God brought in my life, how to serve people without, seeing them as an opportunity, without seeing them for something other than a child of God, that, okay, this is my love your neighbor moment right here because you're right in front of me. And so I'm able to just carry that forward and I think just really just have this career with an open hand because you know what, if it's not this, it's going to be something else that serves the mission of God's kingdom. So, yeah.
Incredible. What does it mean to you, Jordan, that your wife believed in you in that moment, believed that you could start from scratch and do anything?
Well, I feel like, it would be dumb for me to say that I picked her. You know what I mean? God brought her into my life. And, again, it's just a way of God telling his story, just through the people that are in our path. And she is just a fixture, for sure. I couldn't have done it. I couldn't have done it without her.
Yeah.
Early on, I would leave and I'd go play on the weekends. And that relationship was just starting to grow. And we were both hesitant. Like, I didn't want to leave and she didn't want to let me go. And what I told my wife is, you have the veto card. If life at home stops working, you can say it's not working and I will stay home. And I think that, again, gave her the love, respect, and the trust to just kick my butt out the door and say, you know what? I believe in you. I believe in what you're doing. Go get it. And now that's where we are in our relationship. She still has the card. She's never had to use it, but she knows that God is at the center of everything we do and that her and the kids come first. And so that's kind of how we live our life. Yeah.
That's incredible. I really think that's very smart. Jordan, you and your wife, what's her name, by the way?
Heather. Yeah.
You and your wife, Heather, have been through some storms, especially with your precious daughter, Emory. But
yeah.
I'm getting word Emory hasn't had a seizure in a year.
This girl's rocking it.
What?
It's actually pushing almost a year and a half. She's learned how to ride her bike, this summer.
Oh.
Things that we were told that, she probably wouldn't do. I remember her neurologist said, she's probably not going to, play baseball. Well, you know what her favorite thing to go out and do is to grab the bat and just crush that ball. like it's crazy. And she is a little, like she's a joker. Like she is a joker. And her humor is just, again, it's just living proof that, she's doing very good. So can I tell you her favorite joke?
Please. Oh, yes.
Okay. It's so dumb, and I love it because it's just so beautiful. And she just like, hey, Dad, why did the chicken cross the road?
Why?
Because. And it's this little 5-year-old voice. She has a little bit of a lisp, too, and it's just the most amazing thing. And she just has a couple of these jokes in her back pocket that she just pull out every now and then. And, again, it just points to her, her brain activity, just like her brain is working properly. And these are amazing things. We just don't get it, but we're grateful.
And you and Heather can kind of breathe a sigh of relief. Jordan, what would you say to somebody who is still going through the fire, one of my favorite songs of all time? How would you encourage them? Because, they always say you're either headed for a storm, in a storm, or coming out of a storm. So, right? I mean, am I right?
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, that's life, and why does God allow us to walk through this? I don't believe it causes it, but he allows us to draw close, like my season of construction, which felt like I was walking in the wrong direction, yet I was walking straight into his arms, is that his ways are so much higher. And I know that sounds cliche, but when you get to the other side of your storm or your fire or your discontent or, your hope that was deferred, God is a loving Father, and he is leading us on. He's always working when it doesn't feel like it. And so I would say to those listening that are going through the hard stuff is to not discount the season you're in, because what often feels like a setback is a slingshot, and God is literally pulling you back to set you up. Again, if he hasn't pulled you out, which, our God is the God of miracles. He has this way of pulling people out. However, for me and my family, he didn't pull us out, but he pulled us through, and he will be faithful to pull you through.
I can say the exact same thing. Praise God. I'm so thankful with you. Jordan, I'm thinking about Isaiah. He actually said some words in the Bible that remind me of your songs. Like, when you go through deep waters, I will be with you. The flames will not consume you when you walk through the fires. Like, you write about some really deep stuff. And this new song, My Foundation, like, I'm thinking about this and I'm going, what does that look like to somebody who maybe just started walking with Christ in a world where everything feels like it's wobbling around us? What can it mean that Christ is a safe, firm place to stand?
Absolutely. First of all, again, it's been my experience that faith is not a light switch. It's not something you say yes to and then you're good. It's like a relationship with a good friend, a spouse, a parent. It's going to take time, and that's the beauty of it. We have our lives to dig in with Jesus. And so I think the idea is, again, like those earthly relationships, we're planting seed. And when we go through the hard times, I think the irony is that's actually when we harvest. You know what I mean? Yes. We harvest when the storm comes, and all that, relationship that we've built is what we stand on. And when we make it Jesus, it's, my goodness, it could not have been more obvious of how evident faith and how it works has been in my life.
Oh, you're just wonderful.
And so we've been through stuff, and I'm not a kid anymore, and again, I'm just so grateful to be the age I am, bringing a message like this, because he's just proven himself. And the thing is the world will use circumstance as a reason to not believe in God. Yet my experience has been the complete opposite, is that it's been my circumstance that is only, pointed to him.
Oh, so, I can't wait to put this conversation on the air. Before I let you go, with Father's Day around the corner, one more question. What's your favorite thing about being a dad? You have 4 kids, right?
Yeah, 4 kids. It's a war zone. My goodness. Our oldest is turning 14. Our youngest is 5. I think the coolest thing is that each one of them has their own language, and we get to pursue them individually. They're not a group, and so our oldest loves to do the big events, the big thing. He loves hockey, and so we go do the thing. My middle guy, Liam, is probably going to live off grid in the bush somewhere when he's older, and so he just wants to go fishing, hiking. My oldest girl, Willa, she's 9. She just wants your presence, and she wants to know the words, I love you. Like she wants to hear the words.
Yeah.
And my youngest is a fireball. And she honestly just wants to wrestle and, just kind of smack you and then run away. And she's like, Dad, chase me, and it's like, she just wants to be pursued.
Yeah.
And so that's the most beautiful thing. And they are little lights in our lives because they are, revealing to me, oh, man, I'm quite a selfish person, but they are showing me the way to get out of myself.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, just remember to put comedian on Emory's resume, okay?
That's right. That's right.
Jordan St. Cyr, you are a treasure. Thank you for your valuable time today.
Oh, thank you, Erica. My pleasure.